The Deep Space Monitoring Station on Europa was quiet except for the soft hum of computers and the occasional beep of sensors. Commander James Walker stood at the main window, looking out at Jupiter's massive form blocking out the stars. His reflection showed a man in his 40s, with graying hair at his temples and alert eyes that had seen too much to be fooled easily. The alarm wasn't loud, just a gentle ping that would have been easy to miss if the station's AI hadn't highlighted it in red on his display. Walker moved quickly to the main console, his boots making soft sounds on the metal floor. "Guardian, analyze the anomaly in Sector 7, he ordered, his voice calm but firm. The AI's response was immediate. "Commander, I'm detecting unusual patterns in what appears to be empty space. The distortions match our theoretical models for advanced cloaking technology." Walker's jaw tightened. They had been waiting for this moment for decades. Ever since the Mars excavation had revealed the warning carved into ancient ruins. They will come. They always come. He pressed a button on his uniform collar. "This is Commander Walker. Alert status Alpha. I repeat, alert status Alpha." Across the solar system, humanity's hidden defenses began to wake up. Deep beneath Earth's oceans, massive facilities hummed to life. In the asteroid belt, weapon platforms disguised as mining operations powered up their sensors. On Mars, underground bases began preparing their fleet. 20 years ago, the world had changed when they found those ruins. The public knew about them. It had been too big to hide. But they didn't know everything. They didn't know about the detailed technical data that had been hidden deeper in the ruins. They didn't know that humanity had reversed engineered technology from crashed scout ships that the aliens thought had been destroyed. Most importantly, they didn't know that Earth had quietly unified its military forces under a single command structure while maintaining the appearance of separate governments. The old rivalries were still there, but they were mostly for show now. Humanity had learned the hard way that they needed to stick together. Walker watched as more anomalies appeared on his screen. "Guardian, how many signatures are you detecting?" 17 large vessels, Commander. They're holding position near Jupiter's outer orbit. Their cloaking technology is advanced, but it can't hide the gravitational distortions from our quantum sensors. A small smile appeared on Walker's face. The aliens thought they were being clever, staging their fleet far from Earth. They'd probably thought their cloaking technology was perfect. They had no idea that humanity had been tracking their scout ships for years, learning their patterns, understanding their tech. The door behind him opened, and Admiral Mary Stone walked in. She was shorter than Walker, but carried an air of authority that made her seem taller. Her dark skin contrasted with the white of her uniform, and her eyes went straight to the display. "How many?" she asked simply. 17 capital ships, Admiral. They're being cautious." Stone nodded. "They always are. At first, the ruins told us about their standard pattern. Scout the target, assess the threat level, then move in for the harvest when they think the civilization is weak." Walker turned to face her. "Should we inform the Council?" "Already done. Every major city on Earth has been quietly preparing for years. Our underground shelters can hold the entire population of every major city. The public thinks they're just advanced subway systems and shopping centers." She paused, looking at the display. "Our shipyards in the asteroid belt are ready. The lunar bases have their weapons primed. Even our deep space probes are actually weapon platforms in disguise." The alien ships were moving now, spreading out in a standard attack formation. They thought they were being stealthy, but to humanity's advanced sensors, they might as well have been lighting up the sky with fireworks. "They think we're primitive," Walker said, watching the movement. "They'd probably detected our old radio signals, saw our visible satellites, and thought we were an easy target." "That's their mistake," Stone replied. "Humanity learned long ago that the best way to win a fight is to make your enemy underestimate you." She straightened her uniform. "Continue monitoring them, Commander. Let them think they're invisible. Let them think we're weak." And when they make their move? Walker asked. Stone's smile was cold. Then we show them just how ready we've been for this moment. The alien ships continued their slow approach, unaware that every movement was being tracked, every communication intercepted. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, and now finally, the wait was almost over. The Lunar Command Center was a marvel of engineering, carved deep into the moon's surface. Admiral Stone stood in the main control room, surrounded by holographic displays showing the positions of both Earth's forces and the alien fleet. The room buzzed with quiet activity as operators monitored their stations. "Ma'am," a young operator called out, his voice cutting through the ambient noise. "Our quantum intercept system just picked up a transmission from the alien fleet." Stone moved to his station, her steps quick but measured. "Play it, Mr. Rogers." The alien language filled the room, a series of clicks and harmonic tones that would have been meaningless to most humans 20 years ago. But humanity had been preparing. The AI translation system worked instantly, converting the sounds into text on the main screen. Scout Fleet Command to Harvest Control. Target system contains primitive civilization, technology level 3. Primary species shows basic space travel capabilities, but remains confined to home system. Standard harvesting protocols recommended. Stone's expression didn't change, but her hands tightened into fists. "They're so sure of themselves," she said quietly. "Typical." Commander Walker entered the room, carrying a datapad. "Admiral, the Council is ready for your report." The main screen switched to show the Global Defense Council, 12 men and women representing Earth's unified military command. They maintained the illusion of separate nations on the surface, but here, underground, the truth was clear. "Council members," Stone began, "the alien fleet has confirmed our predictions. They're planning a standard harvesting operation." She gestured, and the intercepted message appeared on their screens. "They classified us as technology level 3, just as the Mars ruins suggested they would. Their arrogance is our advantage," one of the council members said. "Our defensive grid is ready." "Yes, sir. 5,000 satellites in stealth orbit, all equipped with our reverse-engineered weapons. The ground-based defense systems are online, and our fleet is in position behind the moon." Another council member leaned forward. "And they suspect nothing?" "No, ma'am. Their scans are only detecting our decoy satellites and old space stations. Everything else is hidden behind our quantum cloaking fields, technology they think is centuries beyond us." The council chamber was quiet for a moment. Then the head counselor spoke. "Admiral Stone, you have authorization to proceed with Phase 2. Send the message." Stone nodded and turned to her communications officer. "Broadcast on all frequencies, using their language patterns." The message had been prepared years ago, carefully crafted to make its point clear. The lunar base's quantum transmitters powered up, broadcasting with enough power to reach every corner of the solar system. In their ships, the alien commanders suddenly found their communications systems activated. On every screen, in their own language, appeared humanity's response. To the approaching fleet, "We see you. Your cloaking technology is inadequate. Your harvesting protocols are known to us. You have one opportunity to leave this system. There will not be a second warning." In the lunar base, they watched through hidden sensors as the alien fleet reacted. Ships that had been moving in perfect formation suddenly scattered, shields powering up, weapons coming online. "They're confused," Walker said, watching the displays. "They don't understand how we could have detected them." Stone allowed herself a small smile. "More importantly, they don't understand how we could know their language or their protocols. The ruins on Mars warned us they're used to being the hunters, not the hunted." The alien fleet regrouped quickly, but their formation was tighter now, more defensive. Their next transmission came within minutes. "Unknown broadcasters. Your civilization is rated technology level 3. You lack the capability to detect or engage our forces. Submit to standard harvesting protocols, or face immediate disciplinary action. They still think we're bluffing, Walker said, shaking his head. Let them think that, Stone replied. She turned to her weapons officer. Power up the defense grid. Don't decloak yet. Just let them see enough energy signatures to make them nervous. Across Earth's orbit, thousands of hidden satellites began generating power fields. To the alien sensors, it would look like small energy fluctuations, just enough to make them wonder if they had miscalculated. Now we wait, Stone said, watching the alien fleet's reaction. Let's see if they're smart enough to take the warning seriously. But deep down, she knew they wouldn't. The Mars ruins had been clear about that too. The harvesters never retreated just from warnings. They would need a demonstration, and humanity was more than ready to provide one. The alien fleet's response came exactly as the Mars ruins had predicted. 5 ships broke away from the main group, advancing toward Earth with weapons charge. Their message was simple: prepare for disciplinary action. In the Lunar Command Center, Admiral Stone watched the approaching ships with calm eyes. Commander Walker stood beside her, his hand resting on the tactical display. They're following the standard harvester pattern, Walker said. Small force first, meant to shock and terrify the primitive species into submission. Stone nodded. Time to show them their first mistake. She pressed her command button. Guardian, initiate defense pattern Alpha. Decloak the first wave. Around Earth's orbit, 100 defense satellites shimmered into view. They were small, barely the size of cars, but packed with technology reverse-engineered from crashed alien ships. The alien fleet immediately halted their advance. They're scanning our satellites, Rogers reported from his station. Their transmissions show confusion. They don't understand how we got their technology. Let's confuse them even more, Stone ordered. Guardian, activate the AI defense network. The room's lights dimmed slightly as Guardian, Earth's most advanced AI system, took control of the defense grid. The satellites moved with perfect coordination, forming complex patterns that no human controller could manage. The alien ships opened fire first, sending bright energy beams toward the satellites. But Guardian had predicted their attack patterns from data in the Mars ruins. The satellites dodged with impossible precision, their movements guided by quantum computers that could process information faster than light. Return fire, Stone commanded. Non-lethal hits only. This is a demonstration, not a slaughter. The satellites responded instantly. Beams of concentrated energy struck the alien ships with surgical precision, targeting their engines and weapons systems. 2 ships lost power immediately, drifting in space. A third spun out of control as its stabilizers failed. They're calling for help, Rogers announced. The main fleet is powering up. Perfect timing, Stone said. Guardian, to cloak the second wave. Another 1,000 satellites appeared, surrounding the alien fleet in a perfect sphere. The aliens froze, their sensors overwhelmed by the sudden appearance of so many advanced weapons. Broadcast on all frequencies, Stone ordered. Send them the prepared message. Walker watched as the text was transmitted. This was a demonstration using less than 1% of our defensive capabilities. Your ship's weaknesses are known to us. Retreat now. The disabled alien ships were already being pulled back by tractor beams from their fleet. Their formation had changed from aggressive to defensive, shields at maximum power. They're scared, Walker observed. They've never encountered a primitive species that could fight back. Scared isn't enough, Stone replied. Guardian, show them what a real Earth weapon can do. A single laser platform decloaked near the moon. It was larger than the other satellites, its barrel gleaming in the sunlight. Guardian aimed it at an empty spot in space, far from any ships. The beam that fired was unlike anything the aliens had seen. It cut through space itself, leaving a visible tear in the fabric of reality that sealed itself moments later. The alien sensors would tell them that the weapon had briefly opened a hole into another dimension. Their response was immediate. The fleet began retreating, pulling back toward Jupiter's orbit. Their transmissions were frantic now, full of confusion and fear. "They're sending a message to their home world," Rogers reported, requesting diplomatic contact. Stone smiled. "Now they want to talk. Typical bullies, brave until someone stands up to them." She turned to Walker. "Send the diplomatic coordinates. Let's see what they have to say for themselves." As the alien fleet retreated, Stone looked at the tactical display showing Earth's full defensive capabilities, the thousands of still-cloaked satellites, the hidden fleet behind the moon, the weapon platforms disguised as asteroids. They had revealed less than a tenth of their true strength. "They'll be back," Walker said quietly. "The ruins warned us they never give up after just one defeat." "Good," Stone replied, "because we have a lot more to show them." Humanity didn't spend the last 200 years preparing for war just to win one battle. The demonstration was over, but everyone in the command center knew this was just the beginning. Phase 3 would begin soon, and Earth would show the galaxy why you should never underestimate humanity's ability to defend itself. The meeting room on the neutral space station was designed to look simple and non-threatening. Dr. Thomas Reed sat at the plain metal table, watching the alien diplomats enter. They were tall, their skin a pale blue, wearing elaborate robes that probably showed their high rank. Behind him, Admiral Stone and Commander Walker stood quietly, playing their roles as simple guards. The aliens had no idea they were actually speaking to Earth's third and fourth in command. "You have violated multiple Federation laws," the lead alien diplomat said through a translator. "Primitive species are not allowed to possess advanced technology." Reed smiled politely. "We developed most of this technology ourselves. The rest we reverse-engineered from the scout ships you thought were destroyed." The alien shifted uncomfortably. Another spoke up. "Impossible. Your civilization showed no signs of advancement beyond basic rocket technology." "That's because we chose to hide our progress," Reed explained. "We learned from our own history. When powerful civilizations discover weaker ones, the weaker ones usually suffer." The lead diplomat's translator crackled again. "Your development is unnatural. It must be contained. The Federation cannot allow." "Cannot allow." Reed interrupted, his voice still calm. "I don't think you understand the situation. We're not here to ask permission. We're here to give you a chance to avoid further conflict." He touched a button on the table, and a hologram appeared between them. It showed Earth's full defense grid, tens of thousands of satellites, hundreds of ships, weapon platforms that dwarfed anything the aliens had seen before. "This is what we chose to show you," Reed said, "a fraction of our true capability. We've been preparing for this moment for 2 centuries." The aliens spoke rapidly among themselves in their clicking language. Guardian translated their whispers through Reed's hidden earpiece. They were shocked, arguing about how humans could have advanced so quickly. "Your species is too aggressive," the lead diplomat finally said. "Your rapid advancement poses a threat to galactic peace. If you do not submit to Federation control, we will be forced to take action." Reed stood up slowly. "I was hoping you would say that." He nodded to Stone, who stepped forward and placed a small device on the table. The device projected another hologram, this one showing recordings from Earth's history. Battles from ancient times to modern days played out in rapid succession. "You think we're too aggressive?" Reed asked. "Maybe. But that's because we had to be. While your Federation grew soft from easy victories over helpless planets, humanity spent millennia fighting itself. We learned. We adapted. We perfected the art of war while praying for peace." The recordings showed more. Earth's hidden shipyards, training facilities, weapon tests. Each image made the aliens draw back slightly. "Your Federation has never faced a species that fought back effectively," Reed continued. "You're used to easy victories over primitive civilizations. But humanity," he smiled, "we've spent the last 200 years preparing specifically to fight you." The lead diplomat stood up abruptly. "This is your final warning. Submit to Federation control, or face the largest invasion fleet in our history. Reed's smile didn't waver. No, this is your final warning. Leave Earth alone, or discover why even our oldest stories are about war. The aliens stormed out, their robes swishing dramatically. Once they were gone, Walker stepped forward. They'll attack, he said quietly. Their pride won't let them back down. Of course they will, Reed replied, standing up. They have to. Their entire federation is built on the idea that younger species must be controlled. If we prove that wrong, others might start fighting back. Stone checked her tactical display. The Mars ruins were right again. They're already calling for their main battle fleet. Good, Reed said, walking toward the door. It's time for Phase 4. Humanity has spent generations preparing for this fight. Let's show them why. As they left the station, Reed thought about all the wars in human history, all the battles and conflicts that had shaped their species. The aliens thought humanity's aggression was a weakness. They were about to learn it was actually their greatest strength. The Federation was coming with their largest fleet. Humanity was finally going to show the galaxy what a species born in conflict could really do. Earth's transformation was a sight that would have shocked the alien diplomats if they could have seen it. Cities that had appeared normal just hours ago were changing. Buildings that looked like ordinary skyscrapers split open to reveal missile launchers. Parks transformed into landing pads as hidden doors opened in the ground. In New York, the entire Central Park seemed to sink into the earth as a massive shield generator rose from beneath it. In Tokyo, what appeared to be a normal office building stretched upward, revealing itself as a fully armed defense tower. Commander Walker stood at the main window of the lunar base, watching Earth change. It's amazing how much we manage to hide in plain sight, he said. Humans are good at keeping secrets when we need to. Admiral Stone replied, studying the tactical displays. Guardian, status report. The AI's calm voice filled the room. All global defense systems are activating as planned. Civilian populations are following evacuation protocols with 98% efficiency. Underground shelters are at 45% capacity and filling according to schedule. Stone nodded. The public had been prepared for this moment through years of disaster readiness drills. Every child had grown up practicing these evacuations, never knowing they were actually preparing for an alien invasion. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, massive doors were opening. Hidden bases that had been disguised as research stations revealed their true nature. Ships that no one knew existed rose from the depths, their advanced engines pushing them easily through the water. Atlantic Fleet reporting ready, Guardian announced. Pacific Fleet in position. Indian Ocean bases activated. In orbit, the defense grid was growing. More satellites decloaked every minute, taking their positions in a complex pattern designed by Guardian's quantum processors. The alien Federation would face not just weapons, but a defensive system that could think and adapt faster than any organic mind. They're going to expect us to defend Earth, Walker said, looking at the tactical display. But they don't know about our other surprises. As if on cue, the asteroid belt came alive. What the aliens had dismissed as simple mining operations transformed. Huge chunks of rock split open, revealing shipyards and weapon platforms. Earth's real fleet emerged from hiding, ships that made the aliens' vessels look primitive in comparison. Mars Defense Command reports ready, Guardian said. Lunar batteries at full power. Jupiter outposts standing by. Stone turned to Dr. Reed, who had just entered the command center. How are our people handling it? Better than the aliens would expect, Reed replied. Those educational programs we've been running for the past 50 years are paying off. Every human over the age of 10 knows basic combat protocols. Every adult has military training disguised as normal education. The displays showed cities transforming into fortresses, civilians calmly moving to underground shelters that were actually military bases. There was no panic, no chaos. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for generations. Guardian, Stone called out, show me the approaching Federation fleet. The display changed to show a massive array of alien ships approaching from deep space. It was an impressive sight. Thousands of vessels, each one carrying enough firepower to level a city. "They think quantity will overwhelm us," Walker observed. "They still don't understand what they're facing. Their entire military doctrine is based on overwhelming primitive species quickly," Reed added. "They've never fought an enemy that was truly prepared for them." Stone watched as more of Earth's defenses revealed themselves. Hidden bases on the moon's dark side powered up their weapons. Stealth platforms near Mars moved into attack positions. The asteroid belt bristled with hidden fleet bases. "Final status report," Stone ordered. Guardian's response was immediate. All systems operational. Civilian evacuation 85% complete. Defense grid at full power. Fleet in position. Earth is ready. Stone looked at the approaching alien armada, then back at her own displays, showing humanity's true military might. The aliens thought they were coming to harvest another primitive species. Instead, they were about to face an enemy that had spent centuries preparing specifically for this fight. "Send the final message to all commands," Stone ordered. "Operation Homeworld Defense is now active. Show them what humanity can really do." The Federation fleet arrived in waves, thousands of ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. Their formation was perfect, following battle plans that had won them countless victories against other species. Admiral Stone watched them approach, her face calm despite the enormous enemy force filling the tactical displays. "They're deploying exactly as the Mars ruins predicted," Commander Walker said, standing beside her. "Their tactics haven't changed in 10,000 years. Why change what's always worked?" Stone replied, "Guardian, begin countermeasures." The AI responded instantly. Across the solar system, humanity's defense plans sprang into action. The Federation ships launched their first wave of attacks. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaking toward Earth, but they never reached their targets. Hidden quantum shields snapped into place, absorbing the attacks. The Federation ships paused, confused by the unexpected defense. That moment of hesitation was all Guardian needed. "Execute attack pattern Delta," Stone ordered. Earth's response was unlike anything the Federation had ever faced. Instead of meeting the alien fleet head-on, humanity's ships seemed to appear from nowhere. They struck from multiple directions at once, their attacks coordinated by Guardian's quantum processors. The Federation's perfect formation broke apart as ships tried to defend against attacks coming from impossible angles. Their computers, designed to fight conventional battles, couldn't keep up with Guardian's constantly changing tactics. "First wave of their ships disabled," Walker reported. "No casualties on either side, just like you ordered." Stone nodded. They weren't fighting to destroy the Federation, just to prove they couldn't be conquered. The alien ships' engines and weapons were being systematically disabled by precise strikes. The Federation launched their second wave, clearly expecting to overwhelm Earth's defenses with sheer numbers. Instead, they found themselves fighting shadows. Earth's ships would appear, strike, and vanish before the aliens could lock onto them. "They're trying to adapt," Reed observed from his station. "Their ships are switching to new formation patterns." "Too late," Stone replied. "Guardian, activate the asteroid defense grid." What the Federation had dismissed as random space rocks suddenly revealed their true nature. Hundreds of asteroids that had been hollowed out and filled with weapons opened fire. The alien fleet found itself caught in a crossfire from weapons they hadn't even known existed. "Their flagship is sending out a distress call," Walker announced. They're requesting reinforcements from every nearby system." Stone smiled grimly. "They still think this is about numbers. Guardian, show them why they're wrong." The AI activated Earth's secret weapon, something they had developed after studying the Mars ruins. Quantum fields appeared throughout the battlefield, disrupting the Federation's advanced targeting systems. Their ships, suddenly blind, began firing at empty space, while Earth's forces struck with perfect accuracy. "Half their fleet is now disabled," Walker reported. The other half is falling back to regroup. The Federation's response was predictable. They launched all their remaining ships in one massive attack. Thousands of vessels charged forward, weapons blazing. It was a sight that had broken the will of countless civilizations. But humanity had been ready for this too. The moon's dark side suddenly lit up as hidden bases revealed themselves, weapons that the Federation had thought impossible for a primitive species to develop opened fire. Space itself seemed to bend as quantum weapons struck the alien fleet. Ships found themselves teleported into the wrong positions. Energy beams curved around to hit their own vessels. The Federation's mighty armada, which had conquered 1,000 worlds, was being systematically taken apart by defenses they couldn't even understand. Their admiral is sending a new message, Reed announced. They're asking for terms of surrender. No destruction of their ships, Stone asked. None, Walker confirmed. Just like you planned. We disabled their fleet without killing anyone. Stone nodded with satisfaction. The Federation had expected to find a primitive species ready for harvest. Instead, they had found humanity, a species that had spent centuries preparing not just to fight, but to win without unnecessary bloodshed. Send the response we prepared, Stone ordered. Let's show them that humanity knows how to be merciful in victory. The battle was over, but Stone knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity was a force to be reckoned with, not because they were aggressive, but because they had learned to be both strong and wise. The Federation ships hung motionless in space, their weapons powered down, their engines silent. On the main screen of Earth's Lunar Command Center, the alien admiral's face showed a mixture of fear and respect, an expression that Admiral Stone had been waiting to see for a very long time. You could have destroyed us, the alien admiral said through the translator. Why didn't you? Because that's not who we are, Stone replied. Humanity doesn't want to destroy. We want to live in peace, but we will always defend ourselves. Commander Walker stepped forward, holding a data crystal. This contains everything we know about your Federation. Every world you've harvested, every species you've enslaved, every colony you thought was hidden. The alien admiral's pale blue skin turned almost white. Impossible. Our stealth technology has been obsolete for decades, Dr. Reed finished, entering the room. We've had scout ships exploring your territory for 50 years. Ships you never detected because we actually understand how to make things invisible. Stone nodded to Guardian, and the main display changed to show a map of Federation space. Red dots appeared everywhere, marking locations of Federation bases, shipyards, and colonies. The alien admiral stared in shock at the detailed information about his civilization's supposedly secret installations. This is our message to your Federation, Stone said. We know where you are. We know what you've done. And we're giving you a choice. The display changed again, showing recordings from the battle. Federation ships being disabled with surgical precision, their crews left unharmed. Advanced human weapons that could have destroyed them, but chose not to. You can leave us alone and reform your Federation, Reed explained. Stop harvesting primitive species. Stop forcing your rule on others. If you do that, humanity will be your ally. We'll share some of our technology, the non-military kind. We'll help you build a better galaxy. And if we refuse? The alien admiral asked, though his voice suggested he already knew the answer. Walker touched another control, and the display showed something new. Human ships appearing in Federation space, moving freely through their most secure sectors. If you refuse, Stone said calmly, we'll dismantle your Federation piece by piece, not through destruction, but by showing every species you've conquered that they can resist, that they can be free. The alien admiral was quiet for a long moment. How? He finally asked. How did a primitive species become so powerful without us noticing? Stone smiled. Because we remembered our history. Every human child learns about what happens when advanced civilizations meet primitive ones. We weren't going to let that happen to us. So we hid our progress. We prepared. We learned from every war we ever fought. And now, the Admiral asked. Now you go home, Reed said. You tell your Federation leaders what happened here. You show them these records, and you make your choice, reform or decline. The Federation fleet began to move, their damaged ships being towed by the ones that could still maneuver. As they prepared to leave, Stone sent one final message. Remember this day. Her voice carried across every Federation channel. Remember that humanity chose mercy over vengeance, but also remember what we're capable of. We'll be watching. As the alien ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel, Walker turned to Stone. Do you think they'll actually change? They'll have to, she replied. Because now they know that somewhere out here, there's a species that can stop them. A species that spent centuries preparing not just for war, but for peace. Reed looked at the tactical display, now showing human ships resuming their hidden positions throughout the solar system. Should we begin dismantling our defenses? No, Stone said firmly. We'll keep watching. Keep preparing. Because somewhere out there, there might be other threats, and humanity will always be ready. The command center slowly returned to normal operations. On Earth, civilians began emerging from their shelters. Cities transformed back to their peaceful appearance, and life continued. But something had changed forever. Humanity had shown the galaxy its true face, not just its strength in battle, but its wisdom in victory. They had proven that being prepared for war didn't mean you couldn't strive for peace. And across the stars, a message spread quickly through alien civilizations. Be careful of the humans. They're stronger than they look, smarter than they seem, and more merciful than you'd expect. But never, ever try to conquer them, because they've been ready and waiting all along.